Hello, everyone! As we're currently waiting for the third part of episode 70, I'd like to go back to the roots and remember the best of the best characters of this awesome series. I had already done my top of best Skibidi toilets, but I never ranked all of the characters of Skibidi Universe. So today I want to correct this oversight and show you my personal top 10 ranking of the most powerful characters of this series. I also had been taking into consideration not only their physical abilities or technological advantages, but also their strategic thinking, model design, and charisma points. Will my ranking be similar to yours? Let's find out. So, get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because I saved the juiciest choices for the last. Let's go. And in 10th place, we have two candidates at once. Those are your old buddies, the black terracotta cameraman and his white brother, who is also being known by the name of Lucky Cameraman, because as you guys know, he always tends to survive no matter what. Well, maybe not always, but we'll get to that. Now, let me explain to you why I put them both here. Despite the fact that the first guy basically disappeared and we don't know for sure yet what had happened to him, and that his brother actually passed away in the second part of episode 70. Or so we thought. You see, the white terracotta twin would be a perfect candidate for the list of the strongest characters in any case, because first of all, his incredible luck caused by the secret agent's protection and guidance was his unique trait. And second of all, he really is pretty shrewd and dexterous. He was always really cautious and sneaky and knew exactly what to do and in which time. Plus, he's being equipped with two unique devices that distinguished him from the crowd of the ordinary cameramen and speakermen really well, which were the remote controller, which was able to open any kinds of sealed doors, and the tablet that was a perfect tool for the espionage inside of the main Skibidi base. And that's why it was so surprising to me seeing him gone in the second part of episode 70. It seemed such a wasted potential to me, only if it actually wasn't. And if you watch the video with my predictions for the third part of episode 70, then you know how I really got stick to two following theories. The first is that Lucky Cameraman will actually be resurrected somehow by the secret agent's powers, because it would be really strange for him to leave his most loyal apprentice in that state. And the second theory of mine is that Lucky Cameraman proved himself to be useful enough for Boom already, and it was time for him to go. But what if he already has a second choice up his sleeve? And what if it's going to be no other than the black terracotta brother who we've seen for the last time in episode 43? It didn't look like he passed away or was badly injured anywhere in this episode. He just disappeared. Maybe Boom, the author of this series, simply saved this character for later? Because the black bro was quite powerful as well. Don't you guys remember how easily he was putting multiple Skibidi down in earlier episodes? And how he was in the head of different special missions by the Alliance? It seems like, in case that the Lucky Cameraman is really being destroyed without any chances to get repaired, then his black bro would be a perfect choice for the secret agent to get a new puppet. And that's why I put those two characters in the 10th place. They do still have an unleashed potential that can be potentially used in the future episodes of the series. Now let's move to the 9th place, which is occupied by Camera Woman. She firstly appeared in episode 52, where she showed a really cool ability of hers to release the powerful bolts from the gun on top of her camera head that are capable of automatically targeting their victims. The speed of those darts and the level of damage that they do to an enemy is really do be admired in my opinion. She also appeared for a short period of time in the second part of episode 57, where we could notice the large turret on her back, making it clear that it was the actual weapon she released her bolts with. By the way, this weapon model is the reference to the emplacement gun from the game Half-Life 2, and it seemed like the shots that she released at G-Toilet at that moment were powerful enough to stop him from using his lasers and possibly drive him away. And it says something cool about her. And besides her fighting abilities, she's really astonishing in terms of fashion as well, if I can say so. Her black trench coat is really cool. And also the way her camera head has two color modes, blue for the state of peace and red for the combat, is really refreshing in terms of design as well. Because before that, we've only seen such bright colors on Titan Cameraman or Plunger Man. Another one of her remarkable appearances happened in the end of the first part of the 70th episode, where she's got some really nice upgrades. Now she has two guns on both of her arms, and I bet that she'll put them into use very soon. But still, in terms of strength, she is weaker than other two of her female counterparts, but she's still cool nevertheless. And speaking of camerawoman's colleagues, in 8th place, we have Speaker Woman. She appeared the latest of all the girls of the series, which was in episode 61, and heck, her debut in the show was really amazing. The first thing that immediately grabbed the attention of lots of viewers was her quirky and funny personality combined with some really badass fighting abilities. Unlike Camera Woman and TV Woman, this girl is more of a melee fighter, and she's really good at it. The main weapons of hers is 2 knives attached to the containers on the side of her head, which she uses to throw at her opponent with an immense speed. Another powerful tool that she uses in the battle is her head speaker covered with protective earphones that is able to produce powerful sound booms to stun the enemies in front of her, or even deflect the dangerous missiles like rockets. And aside from that, she's also dexterous and quick as heck, which makes her a very mighty opponent. Besides, what distinguishes her from the crowd of the ordinary speakermen is her bright reddish lens resembling her face. The only speakerman who also has this kind of lens is the black speakerman from the Elite Alliances squad. Besides that, she's wearing a stylish red shirt, which captures the eye of the audience pretty easily. And just as Camera Woman, in the first part of episode 70, Speaker Woman also got some really cool upgrades. She has been added 2 awesomely looking katanas, and now she's got 2 more containers for her knives. I bet she'll be incredible in the upcoming battles, so she deserves this place in the list completely. And in 7th place, we have Titan Cameraman, and I know that this choice of mine may surprise some of you guys. Because I've told it multiple times before, how I consider Titan Cameraman a real Chad and the favorite Titan of mine. So it probably would seem really strange for you. Why did I put him not that high in the list? But listen to me, as I have a really good explanation of my current choice. So this guy really tanked the majority of episodes he was in due to the number of awesome upgrades and weapons that he had. It seemed like there was no task he wouldn't be able to deal with. I mean, my dude got an insanely powerful core flame which is able to turn his enemies into a hot pile of debris and garbage. He's incredible in the melee fights with his metal fists and the hammer that he used to have before. Although now he uses multiple weapons of choice for his right hand, including saw and acid cannon. And besides those, he's also capable of flying in the air due to his retractable wings, and his core body seems to be protected to the maximum. From the episode 50 to the episode 55, Titan Cameraman was on the peak of his powers and one of the strongest soldiers of the Alliance forces. But starting from episode 65, it seemed like our Chad just couldn't take a break anymore, because he begun experiencing all sort of troubles falling on his camera head. Firstly, he was greatly injured by the Skibidi kamikaze attack in the end of episode 65, which destroyed his shield along the way. And then came the 67th episode, and damn, it hit our Chad cameraman like a truck. I actually feel like he still hasn't fully recovered from the terrifying experience that he had while being under the hypnosis of Skibidi scientist's red glow. And even the upgrades that he got in the second part of episode 69 didn't really save the situation. I mean, yeah, sure, he received some good treatment from Titan TVman's core, and yet, based on the way he fought and behaved in the first part of the 70th episode, I'd assume that he hasn't fully recovered for now. And it is really concerning me how recklessly he seems to behave in that state, because it would turn out against him pretty easily. But anyways, he still remains the Chad that I love deeply, and he deserves the place in that list for 100%. Now, in 6th place, we have the Black Speakerman I briefly mentioned before already. And oh my god, guys, you cannot even imagine how much I like this guy. Plus, I am really proud how one of the earliest predictions of mine dedicated to him came true. My oldest subscribers must have remembered how during my analysis of episode 24, I assumed that this funny-looking guy wearing the red shirt might become an important character in the future episodes of this series. And guess what happened in episode 63? He really debuted as a badass melee warrior there, and that warmed my heart a lot. Unlike Speaker Woman with her bubbly and friendly personality, this guy seems to be much colder, more concentrated on the mission's goals, and he isn't afraid of making some really harsh decisions. And the first part of episode 69 proved it, where he closed the door right in front of 2 cameramen from his squad running from Skibidi Jackson in order to protect the rest of this squad behind the glass door. But despite his seemingly ruthless personality, this guy got a lot of respect from me, because he seems to behave really rationally and thoughtfully, which in combination with his mesmerizing fighting abilities, makes him one of the strongest soldiers of the Alliance's forces. Plus, He's got some really strong and emotional plot arc connected with Plungerman, and it makes me like him even more. I'm really looking forward to this guy's actions in the third part of the 70th episode, and I hope that he won't ever disappoint me. Now it's time to move to 5th place, and in here we have the last girlie from our female alliance squad, TV woman herself. Man, where do I even begin here? She's so awesome that I've recently made a whole separate video dedicated to her, and if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you to do so after you'll finish this video. To out it simple, she's actually perfect. The most important thing which she have is her unique TV screen, distinguishing her from the regular TVmen, that she uses as a deadly distance weapon which has a wide range of abilities, including stun, burning, and the opportunity to mind control her opponents or neutralize the parasites that infected her comrades. Plus, she's also capable of going into melee combat as well, which makes her a universal warrior, and she may be a true life savior due to her teleportation skills. And besides her unique and absolutely unmatched combat abilities, she has one of the most memorable and emotional plot arcs in the series, namely, the romantic arc between her and simp cameraman, who she managed to save in episode 49, but left on the battlefield in episode 57. And by the way, do you guys know what also puts me into a romantic mood? The round number in 400,000 subscribers, and there are only 6,000 that are left. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss my new cool analyses or videos on Skibidi toilets topic. She seems to be so powerful already that Boom decided not to upgrade her even further. So in the end of the first part of episode 70, she was the only one out of female trio that didn't get any additional improvements or new weapons. And either she's keeping some inner secrets inside that might suddenly surprise us later, or she's really perfect at this point already. We're moving closer and closer to the top 3. And on 4th place we have no other but Plungerman. And I like this guy even more than the Black Speaker Man, to tell you honestly. This character is truly one of the strongest in the series, not only in terms of his fighting abilities, but also thanks to his plot arc, which is one of the longest and most detailed in the show, comparable only with the plot line of the White Terracotta Brother. During the course of episodes he had been appearing in, he got through the various improvements and the process of character development. One of the first times we saw him on the screen was in episodes 43 and 45. And in those two, he didn't really show himself as a fearless warrior ready to crush everyone on his way. However, by episode 48, his true personality had already been formed. Now it was the brave guy equipped with 2 plungers that immediately distinguished him from the crowd of cameramen. And in episode 50, he marked himself as an icon of coolness while slowly moving towards one of the scariest Skibidi we've ever seen in the series, as if he was Kratos from God of War game series or something. This guy was a true badass, even without upgrades. But with them coming to him in episode 52, he becomes even more unstoppable. Firstly, he got the jetpack allowing him to maneuver in the air. But then, after episode 57, he received something more serious. After being critically injured and relocated to the cameraman's base by TV Woman, he then appeared in the show again 5 episodes later. And by that point, instead of the jetpack, he had a whole freaking flying wheelchair to sit in. By the way, this chair was based on the prototype of the glitch toilet cistern, who was defeated in episode 54, and then apparently captured and examined by the Alliance's scientists in order to extract his technology that allowed him to move with such an incredible speed. And although he was able to use this awesome piece of technology just by the second part of episode 67, where it was destroyed by Skibidi scientist laser that also damaged Plungerman himself, it still made him stand out even more. And by the way, speaking of injuries, despite being really worn out after this laser shot, Plungerman still managed to survive and took part in the infiltration mission of the Skibidi bunker. And in the following episodes, it didn't look like he was bothered by his injuries at all, which makes him even more badass than he already is. Plus, while staying in the bunker for quite some time, he managed to improve his plungers himself with the spikes, which made them even more dangerous towards the Skibidi. I really hope this Chad will manage to survive though till the very end of the battle, because he really is the coolest Alliance's agent in the whole series, at least in my opinion. And now it's finally time to move to our victorious triplet. And the 3rd place goes to Titan Speakerman, because man, this guy got quite a roller coaster of a story in this series. The whole plot arc of his being the chattest chat of all, to then simply being turned to the Skibidi army's side due to the parasite that infected his core body and the evil genius of Skibidi scientist. Yeah, our guy had a pretty rough life starting from episode 32 and ending by episode 57, which means that he spent more than 20 episodes being mind-wrecked. So no wonder that when he finally got cured by TV Woman's anti-parasite ability, he got just a little bit crazy, at least for a few episodes following the 57th. Do you remember that absolutely insane scene from episode 58, where he destructed a dozen of Skibidi helicopters at once? This scene was so epic that Boom actually replicated it in the first part of the 70th episode as well. But he somehow made it even cooler this time. So, aside from the fact that Titan Speakerman managed to withstand the terrible influence of Skibidi Parasite that tortured him for so long, what makes him even more badass is the number of awesome upgrades that he's gotten throughout the course of this show. If you remember, his start in episode 26 was pretty humble. He had a jetpack, a cannon on his left hand, and an unprotected core with the old versions of his speakers that used to be much weaker than they are now. And you just look at him now. By the 70th episode, he got 2 greatly improved cannons on both of his arms, his speakers are now renewed and modernized, and have red color instead of a white one, and his core power is stronger than ever. Not without the help from Titan TVman, though, who shared his resources with his little bro in the second part of episode 70. And to tell you honestly, guys, the true reason for why I put him that high in this list is the crazy progress he has made on his way. He started as one of the weakest in the trio of Titans, but look at this bro now, he's unstoppable. And I'm looking forward to him absolutely slaying in the upcoming battles in the future episodes of the series. We're moving to the second place now, and I think you probably already guessed who's about to be found here. It's Titan TVman, who I mentioned a few times before at this point. The strength of this Chad is undeniable, and I've already made plenty of videos dedicated to his crazy, powerful improvements and abilities. But honestly, the true reason for me to put this guy on the second place in the list were his moral qualities and personality. You see, it must be no surprise for you at this point that I never fully trusted the race of TV men due to how evasive and self-dependent they are. Looking at them, I never felt an actual sense of loyalty or willingness to help the Alliance in order to win this war against Skibidi and save the planet. But Titan TVman, though? I don't have a single doubt about his desire to come to the rescue his comrades whenever possible. And he is the exact reason for Titan Cameraman still being with us at the moment. And also, that scene in the end of episode 69, where he shared his inner core resources with the injured Titan Cameraman, and later with Titan Speakerman as well, only proves this point. He's a real Chad, not only in terms of his combat abilities, which might have been overpowered only by the crazy improved Astro Toilet, but also in terms of his character traits and good personality. And as I said in the beginning of this video, the personality and good vibes from the characters I'm reviewing sometimes matters to me so much more than the physical strength only. And now it's time to reveal the one who takes the throne in this list. The first place is getting taken by no other than Boom the Secret Agent. And now I better explain why I chose him exactly and not Titan TVman, for example. Because you guys may ask me, hey, ESO, but Boom never participated in any battles directly, and most of the time he just watched what was happening in the show. But you see, as I said before, I consider the concept of strength not just based on the physical abilities. As we figured out from the last episode, Boom takes a much higher position in all of this mess that we're witnessing for 70 episodes already. And he is indeed playing a huge role in all of this. We have not yet been revealed all of his secrets or pieces of lore about him, but I am already sure that the value of this guy is immense, and the point of the whole series might revolve about his figure. Plus, he's the smartest character in the show, and I consider being shrewd and crafty the front features of power. So I am absolutely sure that Boom plays the key role in all of this, and we might see the potential that he will unleash really soon. And that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to share in the comments your own rankings, because I'll be really interested to read them. And be sure to subscribe to my channel not to miss my new videos. And that was me, ISO Toilet. See ya!